want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We are the Mad Men of Masculinity.
Your home for healthy masculinity. We're just real men having real conversations for you. Good day, Mad Men Mafia.
I am Kirk M. Samuels.
And I am Jason B. Kendrick.
And we are the Mad Men of Masculinity.
That's right. We're just real men having real conversations for you. Why are you turning your head around?
Saying?
Turn that head back around.
Man,
show the people what you're
I ain't doing it.
Nah,
I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it,
man.
I ain't doing it, man. My mama watches the show sometimes.
He goes perfect for this episode. What would men do for
no
their
way,
women?
Man. My mama watches the show sometimes, man. I can't do it.
Your mama bought you that.
I can't do it, man. No, she didn't. My wife did though.
See.
My wife did. She bought it off of Temu.
So this was your idea.
I
saw that video, so I know what you're talking about. But yeah, tell me why you want
to. So
it
was a video clip, man, that went around a little bit. I saw it twice actually, and I don't know, man. For some reason, the clip just kind of hit me a little bit. But it was a clip, and it was a female, and she was kind of going on and on about, if a man loves you, he'll this, and if a man loves you, he'll that, and she was kind of going down the list of all these different things, and I kind of got where she was coming from, but for some reason, man, it just kind of hit me sideways for a couple of different reasons, man. And so I thought, man, I think the madmen need to take a hack at this whole, if a man loves you, he will X, Y, and Z kind of thing.
Yeah, no, we need to break it down from a man's point of view, because I actually appreciate what she's attempting to do, what her intention was, what she's trying to do, because it's true. If you are the love of a man's life, if you are his woman, he will, get the moon for you. He'll bend over backwards for you. He will go to the ends of the earth for you. But then there's the other side of it too. And I think that's where you and I had the kind of stink eye about it, is because once again, we're getting a lot of what a man will do, or what a man needs to do, or a good man will this, that, and the other, without the accountability from the other side. And so that's what we see a lot of that nowadays.
I think first of all, the elephant in the room is, maybe women need to stop or do less rallying around what other women say men would and men should and men this and that and all this other kind of stuff. And maybe they should step away from the female voice and what the men should or shouldn't do and be like and all of that kind of stuff. And maybe they need to come over here to the madmen and let the madmen tell you what the real deal is in terms of what men should do and men would do and all this other kind of stuff. Because I'm like, maybe that's a good place to start. Maybe a good place to start is coming to the source for for the voice you need to hear, be listening to.
Yeah, that's how we got our job. That's why we do what we do, is we listen to a lot of ladies. We have lots of lady friends. We've been trying to help out a lot of our single lady friends about where you find good men, how you keep a good man, how you talk to a good man, how you have a good relationship. Because, and honestly, the majority of our natural viewership was women 35 to 55. 65% of our natural viewership is women 55 or 35 to 55. Why do you think that is? Is because they finally got tired of listening to their mamas and their girlfriends about what a good man is and how to keep one.
If you want to hear about space, if you want to hear about going into space, you can talk to somebody at NASA at Mission Control. That's they work at NASA. They might be literally a rocket scientist. They design rockets. They put them together. They can launch rockets up into space and bring people back. They had the Blue Origin ship go up today and all that and come on back. You can listen to the people that send the ships up into orbit, or you could talk to an astronaut. And if I want to know how to get how to build a rocket and the math and the science and all that kind of stuff, I can go to the people with the degrees on the wall that study how to do aerodynamics and physics and all that kind of stuff. But if I want to find out about what it's like going into space, what it's like being in space, I'd rather go to an astronaut. So what am I saying? I'm so glad you asked. What I'm saying
What?
is I'm not saying that a woman can't have an opinion about men and about, what he should and shouldn't and all this other kind of stuff. But, it's better to go to the source of what it's like being a man, especially being a man these days, what it's like in this culture and all that kind of stuff, man. So like I said, I just thought we need to put some real, put some peanut butter on the sandwich. They might have some
Mhm.
jelly, but we need to put some peanut butter on the sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, it's just running rampant nowadays where I mean, all over social media, it's in the regular media. I mean, it's all over the place where ladies keep gassing each other up about what a real man is and what men need to do and how, men should be. And they've come up with this whole playbook that no man ever signed off on, no man ever edited, no man even proofread about how men should be and how men are in relationships. And so when we see these videos, I mean, like I said, I gave props to the girl because she was doing her best. I just again, for me, it just felt like, okay, well, that's great. A man will do all those things for you if you are the love of his life, except what are you doing? What's your responsibility? How are you keeping that man going? How are you being, doing your half of the relationship? And so a lot of this gassing up, and I hear all this stuff about gaslighting and oh, they're gaslighting. I think sometimes, ladies, y'all gaslighting yourselves.
Yeah, we gone through maybe a half of a or a generation and a half in our history where fact is a lot of men today have been raised by women, right? And
Mhm.
so primarily, and so a lot of our foundational identity has come through women. I believe that there's a cultural shift going on, and the pendulum can swing one way, and then normally when it does, at some point it'll swing back the other way, whether it's politics
We'll
or
swing
whether
back.
it's finances and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that the pendulum is swinging back the other way, and when it does swing back the other way, it creates. I mean, that there's a moment of time where the pendulum stops, and then it begins to pick up speed and going back. I believe that men, manhood, masculinity, all these other kind of things. I believe that the pendulum is going back the other way, and I think that men are getting to the place where we are beginning to seek and find some identity in ourselves and who we are, what we are, who we want to be, where we want to go, and all these other kind of things. And so I think, there might have been a time period where men may not have been really interested in all that kind of stuff, but men today are generally moving back to the place of like, you know what? No, man, we are, there are good men out here. We
Mhm.
are, and most men are good men. Most men want good. Most men are not abusive. Most men, want good things for themselves and the people around. And so, anyhow, point being, it's time for us to be qualified enough to speak for ourselves. At some point, the baby got to learn language and learn words, and at some point, the baby got to advocate and speak for themselves. And so,
Mhm.
us as men, we are here today, ready to tell you, ladies, especially out there, and to rally and gather their men around the idea of this is what it's like. These are the things that will indicate if a man really loves you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up about, most men nowadays being raised by single mothers because a lot of men who are struggling with their purpose, who are struggling to find their, place in the world are because they didn't have that upbringing. They didn't have the rite of passage. They didn't have the healthy father figure in the home, and their mothers did the best they could, but they're not men. And so they went out of the world, became nice guys. And you ladies hate nice guys. I watched some lady today on one of these YouTube channels where she's like, the problem might be me, and she actually had like an awareness moment where she's like, I went on 3 days with this guy and he checked all the boxes. On paper, he's perfect. He's a doctor. He's 6'4". We have the same beliefs. We have the same viewpoints. We want the same things. But he was just too nice. And she finally realized, well, maybe I'm the problem because he on paper he checks all the boxes, but he was too nice. So I can't do it. I got the ick. That's what I mean by the personal gaslighting that's happening to a lot of ladies, but also from the man side, a lot of us have struggled over the years to figure out what our place is and what our purpose is for a lot of different reasons. Because nice guy syndrome, we got raised by single moms telling us what a man's supposed to be, and then we have the feminist movement where the ladies are more masculine in business and out in the world than they used to be. So men are like, well, if you're going to be the man, what am I supposed to be? Am I the man or are you the man? Who's the man here? And so there has been a lot of that struggle with men nowadays about what's my purpose? Where do I fit in? Who am I supposed to be in this relationship? And so a man will do a lot of things for you if you're in love his life. The problem is you got to let him do it. And the problem is you got to let him be the man. You stop being the man. And that's what I think that pendulum swing back is women went all the way to the feminist narrative, all the way to the other side, and are starting to figure out, man, I don't like all this working and having to take out the trash and do all this man stuff. Maybe I want to go back to being a woman and being feminine again.
Yeah, that's the thing I didn't like about that video is that, at its core, the woman that was speaking kind of had a masculine energy. She was kind of like real, just hard and just coming at it from a different way. And on top of that, pretty much everything that she was saying was about, boiled down to if a man really loves you, he'll make you feel like he loves you. Like it was all about what she receives and what you get and all this other kind of stuff. And it was real transactional. But not only that, it just came from a masculine center as far as I'm concerned. And it just didn't feel right because as far as I'm concerned, judging by by the way she presented herself in that video, I didn't perceive her to be, let's just say, overly feminine in her delivery. I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about just in her delivery. And so, it didn't rub me the right way, the way it came across with the way it just shook me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the same conversation we were having with Danielle when we came on, and she's like, "What are women looking for in dating world today?" And it comes back to, well, if you want that man to be that man and make you feel some kind of way, you got to be the woman, which means instead of gaslighting each other and saying, "Oh, men need to be all like this," how about you start getting together saying, "Hey, ladies, let's be feminine again. Let's relearn how to be feminine again." Because guess what? Us as men, that's what we're literally doing right now. We're working with other men, working with ourselves to realize what it means to be masculine again, what it means to be a man again, and how we fulfill that purpose and fill those shoes of being masculine again. So, that pendulum swung all that other way. Now it's coming back. So now it's time for us to get in the dirt, take some personal responsibility, and figure out what our roles are.
Yeah. And I wish there was as many, maybe I don't see them or maybe they just don't exist, but I wish there was as many groups and movement of women pursuing femininity as I know that there are groups of men pursuing masculinity. So anyhow, but at the core of this, we're going to take a break here, but at the core of this, we're getting into what you should see, what indicators are there that a man really loves you if you're a woman. So with that, we'll be right back and we're going to dig into this. Mad Men of Masculinity, KLDC 1220 AM. I realized I forgot my microphone.
See this guy.
Boom, there it is.
Making it look amateurish over here.
Yeah, we don't want to look amateurish. We don't want to look amateur. Can't do that.
Not us. Come on.
Don't make me turn my head around.
You need. Hey, we're off the air. You can go ahead and turn around and show the folks what you rocking.
No, man, this video ain't off the air. Told you, man. My mama watches the show sometimes. No, she don't. But I'm gonna pretend she does. That's an excuse for me not to turn my hat around.
But represent what you got, man. Represent. Don't be afraid. Come on, represent.
You know what I'm saying, man? I just, this is a little inside joke between me and my wife.
Yeah. Yeah, for those y'all want to know, he basically said something like, "I shave." I kept it PG.
Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah. All right. All that.
And we're back.
Yep, that's
Welcome
right.
To the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Your boys, the Mad Men of Masculinity are back here doing our thug fizzle thang, talking about a video clip that we came across that was a female. I'm pretty sure nowadays you can't really tell, but I'm pretty sure this was a female.
Adam's apple. Yeah.
Well, hey man, did you know that you can't really tell by that? But here's a way you can tell, because men like fingers. If you look at the fingers, our middle finger is always longer than our index finger. Not always the case with women.
Okay.
Telling you, dude.
So somebody's got
Trust
to
me on
check
that one.
his facts on that one. Somebody's got to check that
Trust
facts
me,
out
dude.
'cause I
Our
don't know
middle
about all
finger
that.
is longer than our index finger, but not always the case with women.
But
Anyhow,
it might be our favorite finger, but I don't know if it's
easy,
if that's
easy,
science.
dude.
I don't know.
Easy, easy, man. Easy. See,
Is that
see,
science? I
man,
don't know.
dude.
I'm
You
gonna
a
keep that shirt.
habitual line stepper, man. You a
Found
habitual
my
line
shirt.
stepper. Found your t-shirt, man. We talking about how you can tell if a man loves you. What
Hmm.
I didn't like from that video clip is that everything she said had to do with some way that he made her feel,
Mhm. He can
some
make you
way
feel
that
some
he
kind of way.
served her and he did this and he blah blah blah. Basically, he performed. And if a
Mm,
man has to perform his way into making you feel love, then you are missing it 1,000,000%.
mhm. Yeah, and I think that's maybe we'll start off with even our own personal what would you do like when it comes down to your woman and your wife and like what would you do for her like you love her what would you do you know I love my woman and this is what I will do what would you say to that sir.
There was a white sandy beach in Jamaica
Mm.
in the year
Paint
of our
pictures.
Lord 2023. I stood barefoot. Both of us did grounded, barefoot grounded. We were connected to the
Mm,
grounding of the earth at the
nice.
place where the sand met the ocean. Two
Mm,
palm leaves coming together. Some guy we didn't know standing there. Strangers that we didn't know standing around. And it was a perfect, like 85, 86-degree day, breeze blowing through our hair, both of us wearing all white. I mean, just blue skies. Like I said, man,
mm,
just powdery white beaches, soft lapping of the ocean up against the soft sand of the beach. And I stood there and it was the first time and this is gonna sound really weird, but it is what it is. And I'm just, we keep it real around here. I have been in 3 weddings at this point. I've been in 3 weddings, but I think I've only been married once.
mm. It's deep.
See, I didn't know commitment before now. And in the past, I mean, and maybe that sounds like a cop out to some people, but it is what it is. I recognize that, when I stood on that beach and I looked into her eyes, I promised 3 things. And I've said this before. I not even promised. I told her my words were, I'm covenanting with God to be your priest, your provider, and your protector. And those 3 things are what I gave my word to her that day on that beach. And I measure myself at the end of the day as to how well I did at being her priest, her provider, or her protector in any one given day. Some days I feel like I give myself a better grade. Some days I feel like I kind of let myself down in keeping that end up. But what doesn't change is my endeavor to do that on a daily basis. And that doesn't have anything to do with how she feels. That doesn't have anything to do with what she received specifically from me. It has everything to do with my commitment and my endeavor every single day to manifest the words that came out of my mouth that afternoon.
Mm. It's
Boom,
deep. I love painting the picture. Got dimensional pictures. I feel like I'm on the beach with wind in my hair. I like
boom,
it. That's the way he
sprinkle,
does it. But yeah,
sprinkle.
for me, it's like when it comes down to the person that is yours, the woman you love. I mean, we will go from all the way from opening the door to taking a bullet. I mean, there's a huge gambit right there, and all we ask is that you give us that opportunity. You play your role, we play our role. And I think what you said is really important that a lot of ladies like because of the, let's talk ourselves up and let's learn from other women about what a man is and this and that whole feeling thing. See, men are about providing. Men are about doing what they say. They're about their word. And I know I had a incident with one of my exes where I guess she assumed that I was female or I had a feminine mind and that I would understand that she didn't mean the word she says, but I'm a guy. So you said it. I'm going to listen to what the words that came out your mouth. And so when she told me to F off and go away, I left. And then she got mad at me for leaving. I'm like, you just told me to go away. Well, I didn't mean it. I was just upset. Well, watch your mouth. Because as a man, I'm going to listen to what you say because that's what men do. We say what we mean what we say, and we're going to follow that. Just like you said, this is what I've covenanted to. This is what I promised. This is what I gave my word to. I'm going to do my best in every day to complete those things and to live up to those things. How you feel about it isn't my concern because this is what I promised to you. And so I think when it comes down to the masculine feminine dynamic, relationships nowadays, and what a man will do for his woman, he will do everything for you as long as he feels respected and he feels like there's some reciprocation. What we get a lot nowadays is not only having to deal with the ramifications of nice guy syndrome, the ramifications of the feminist movement. We get a lot of me, me, me. What are you doing for me? You didn't make me feel some kind of way. It's all about what I get, and I don't have to give you nothing. Like I saw some wife, I want to, in quotation marks, I'm doing my air quotes, some wife talking about, I don't make my man food. I make food for my kids. He can take care of himself and this, that. And if that don't work out, then some other man, he's going to come in and provide all this stuff. And I'm not giving him nothing. He needs to give me everything. I wonder why you're going to be single the rest of your life. I'm just saying it's a mutual respect, mutual responsibility, mutual accountability when it comes to relationships. So yes, a man will do all those things that woman said for the woman he loves. However, men give everything up front and wait for you to reciprocate. The less you reciprocate, the less they give. And so all these ladies out there talking about, oh, well, he started off 100% and then he fell off. Well, he fell off because you were not reciprocating. You have to reciprocate in relationships. You got to be accountable in relationships. You have to take up your role and do your part. If you don't, he's going to quit.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I've had to, and I'm still growing into, and that is that love at its deepest form is not conditional, and it's not 50-50. It's 100-100. So fortunately, unfortunately, as a lot of times I have conversations with my son about being married and and these types of conversations, guy conversations that I wouldn't put out over the air, but but at the core of it, you know, I wonder if to a degree, and some bit of evidence of my love is how much I've sacrificed. Maybe my love from a man involves his word and sacrifice. And I use the word sacrifice because if I were to be totally honest, there's some days where I don't, it doesn't feel like I've gotten back everything that I'm going to say put out or put into um, my relationship, my primary relationship, my marriage. And there are some days where it feels like I didn't put in what I got out of it today. And so it's not transactional in that way, is what I'm having to learn. Like that's how I says I'm growing in this whole thing and learning that it's not conditional. In other words, my level of love is not related to my experience in the process of love. And so, what how that manifests in a daily basis, is going to look totally different, from one aspect to the other. But it's definitely not a scoreboard. So when people say marriage is 50-50, they're lying. They're 100% lying. Marriage is 100-100. And you got to fully expect, to you know, sometimes have your account feel like it's in the negative, and hope you have an overdraft account or something like that. But sometimes you got to expect that, and some days you got to expect, for it to be like, man, they treat me better than I treated them today. but it's not being transactional. Unfortunately, in our culture, though, we consider love to be a transaction kind of thing. We consider love to be, well, I'm going to come to my 50%, you come to your 50%, we'll meet in the middle. Reality is my 50% is not in the middle, and neither is yours, right? So when I feel like I'm at my, well, I've given my 50. Nah, you going as far as you're comfortable in going in that day, and it's never going to be all the way to whatever that demarcation line of 50-50. So you got to be prepared to go all the way to them, and them come all the way to you. But from a man's perspective, um, it's not about the way he makes you feel in the moment. It's about what he is demonstrating, the values he's living out. And quite honestly, in most cases, and this really gets down to the core of it for me, in most cases, it's him showing up
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly in spite of his failures, in spite of his shortcomings, in spite of his insecurities, in spite of all those things, him showing up sacrificially, him showing up in his effort, him showing up and keeping his word.
Yeah, I mean that's something that has gone sideways, and a lot of ladies have lost the vision for, or the awareness of, is when that man's there every day, going to work every day, providing every day, he feels like he's fulfilling his purpose. Now you feel some kind of way about it because he can't do everything. Oh, he's got to go to work, but he can't be a stay-at-home dad with me and raise the kids. That's a sacrifice that you both have to make. He has to sacrifice his time and energy to make the money. You got to sacrifice his presence to go do those things. But that feminist gaslighting has told you that he should be able to do, and it goes both ways for women as well. You think he should be able to do all those things and be there. He should be able to work 100 hours a week, make $1 million, be 6 foot tall, do all this stuff, and be there and take you out on the trips and do all this stuff. And on your side, nowadays, a lot of ladies are like, oh, I got to be the mom and the cook and the bank and the chef and the dad and all those things. Well, all we're saying is you can come in 100% on both sides, and each of you fulfill your role. But what we keep hearing is, what do you do? That old Janet Jackson song, what have you done for me lately? Well, you know what? I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm doing the best I can. All I'm asking is for some respect and some acknowledgement that I'm actually doing the best I can. And speaking of acknowledgement, it's time for us to acknowledge ourselves a break. We will
Mm-hmm.
be right back. We are the Mad Men of Masculinity. This is KLDC.
Let me
Don't
water
you hate
my
when you have
palate.
a don't you hate when you have a thought and you thought you had it there and then it starts going all over the place? But it kind of it comes
Squirrel,
back. It comes back at some
squirrel,
point.
squirrel. Hey man,
I
are we
squirreled it,
supposed to
did it?
drink? Are we supposed to drink a liter of water a day, or
You
is it
know,
a
it
gallon
depends.
of water? This is
Well, I
only
mean,
33 ounces. We're supposed to drink like our weight in ounces, I think.
well, it also depends on the quality of the water and what kind of minerals are in there. You're probably do better off adding some trace minerals to your water and drinking less than drinking a bunch of um, tap water that has all the stuff in
This
it,
is
bleach and
alkaline
stuff.
water. Isn't
Yeah,
alkaline water good for you?
it's better. Yeah, but you also need the trace minerals and stuff, which a lot of the processing of the drinking water takes it out. Anyway, squirrels about
What if I
squirrels.
just go outside? What if I just go outside and eat some dirt? Do I get some minerals from that?
Yeah, it might. I don't know what minerals
Yeah,
you're getting, but crapshoot. You go ahead and give it a shot.
yeah. Just make sure it ain't the dirt or my dog goes to whatever. All right.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much dirt is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Dirt is dead things, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Squirrel. All right, we'll bring it back.
we're back.
Guess we're back.
We are back. Mad Men of Masculinity, KLDC, 1220 AM in the Mile High City and on the interwebs everywhere.
Everywhere.
Holler at your boys, Facebook, YouTube, all
Holla,
that kind
holla,
of
holla,
stuff.
holla.
The subscriber numbers slowly but surely are coming up. I
We
don't
hit
know.
5K. We're going to 10K, people. Come on, join the
We
crowd.
did, man. One of these days we're gonna have us a plaque over our shoulder. One of these days
Yeah.
we're gonna get the respect. They're gonna put some respect on our name.
Put some respect on this. Say it
And
with
they're
your chest.
going,
Respect it.
we're gonna do our thing. Today we are talking about how can you tell if a man truly loves you.
Hmm.
And a couple of the key words that I think I brought up was sacrifice, was keeping his word. Um, I will say a man loves you if he serves you.
Mm-hmm.
if he serves you, he loves you. What does service look like? Now we need to get better at recognizing, we meaning men need to get better at recognizing how she hears or perceives service. Really, how she
Mm.
hears or perceives love in general.
Yep.
Because if we speak in Mandarin and she speaks Spanish, then it doesn't. You're not communicating. So some of it is us learning what her language is that we can speak, and so that she can hear those things. I generally speak in words like think, and I say think a lot, like, babe, I think this, I think that, I think this, and I think that. Come to find out that it resonates with her more when I just use the word feel
Hmm.
as opposed to think. Okay, you know, in my mind, is that the real word that has a place in that sentence? Not always, but what does it matter if that's how she hears the message, the words that I'm saying, how she hears the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Hmm.
So we need to be able to speak those, the service aspect of it. How can I serve you today? How can I serve you today? I need to wake up, and if he wakes up with the heart of serving her, then he loves her. Now how he does that is the key.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it brings up a great point. There's so much of this Disneyfied, you know, star-crossed lover syndrome stuff where, oh, once we come together, that's it. It's perfect. You know, we are soulmates and that's it. Well, you're still two different people and you're man and woman, most likely. So, like Kirk said, men think, women feel. You know, we're cerebral, you guys are heart based. And that's for a reason. I mean, when we play our roles and we have this whole, you can tell us about feeling and we can tell you about thinking and logic, whatnot. And that's how we serve each other. But when you don't communicate, when you don't take the time to learn how each other communicates and what they hear from the words that you say, there was a story that I love where this lady was talking about thought her husband hated her all these years because he kept giving her the heels of the bread, and she hated the heels, but he kept making the sandwiches with the heels of the bread. And all these years, it was like 20 something years, she just quietly took it and was mad about it. She never asked and never had a conversation. And finally, he's like sick or something, or whatever the deal was. Something made her ask, why do you keep giving me the heels? He's like, the heels are the best part. I want you to have the best parts of the bread. Because he thought the heels were the best part. She thought the heels were the worst part. But he thought they were the best part, so he was making her the sandwiches with the best part, showing his love and service to her. Like, I'm giving you the best part of this bread. But she didn't know that, didn't ask the question. So when we don't communicate, we don't actually know how the other person's attempting to serve us or love us. And having those communications, I mean, that's what 90% of couples therapy is, having an intermediary go, well, what did you mean by that? Why did you say this? And asking those questions you should be asking your partner. Because when you say, what did you mean when you said that? Or, what are the two best questions you say? What I heard you say was, and what, what, when you say that I hear this, when you say those things to each other, you can communicate that you're not actually understanding what they're saying, what they're meaning. You can actually have a real conversation about, well, when you use this word, like you said, when you say think instead of feel, she doesn't quite get it. But when you say feel, she understands it more because that's her operating system. She's got a feeling operating system. Men got a thinking operating system. That's just how we work. But we've got to communicate. And when you communicate, then you'll start to understand how much your partner is actually serving and loving you in their own way.
Yeah. And like I said, in that moment, when that light bulb came on, part
Bing.
of me, part of the pushback was like, yeah, but maybe I'm being disingenuous by just using a word because she wants me to use that word. And then I was like, no, dummy. I mean, if she gets what you're saying, what difference does it make? I mean, what, put your ego down and put that aside and do what's right and not do what's best, not what you feel is right or what you think is right.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so in that moment, I had to just kind of swallow it and say, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
that's what I want to do.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that just made me think of that Trevor Noah sketch where he's talking about, is it racist to use somebody else's like dialect or accent when you're talking to them? Like if they have a foreign accent, it's like he gave this whole story about trying to get on some base or into some place and they're trying to say their names, and because of the guy's dialect, he couldn't understand Trevor. And so finally the one guy's like, oh, and he used their dialect. And then he's like, oh, why didn't you say that? Why did you speak properly? Well, that's all we're saying is that sometimes, even though it feels disingenuous to you because that's not your dialect, and it's not racist and it's not mean and it's not whatever the woke folks are saying about it, you're trying to help them understand you. You want to be understood. They want to understand. So you speak however you can in their language or in their accent or dialect so that they can understand you better. And that's all we're saying. Yeah. When it comes to how will a man love you, he will do whatever it takes. And it's very simple. It's a simple answer. A man will do whatever it takes to take care of you and make you as happy as you can be. But sometimes we don't understand what they're doing or why they're doing it because we don't ask the questions.
Yeah, but if a man loves you, I don't know that his goal should be to make you happy. I think, for him to make you happy, I mean, man, that's you're never going to win that. You're never going to win that. Nobody's job to make their spouse happy. I mean, happiness is your own job. I think to bring joy, to bring fulfillment, all these other kind of things are a more satisfying or realistic goal. But to make somebody happy, I can't make you happy if you're just a miserable person. I mean, I can't make my wife happy if she's in pain because of back surgery. I mean, I can't make her happy in a moment, but I can still serve and I can still honor her. And so, and that may be how I demonstrate my love in that day. But how I demonstrate my love is totally different based on the setting and based on the situation than just trying to pursue happiness. Because guess what? There's at least once a month you can't make any woman happy. I mean, let's just be real. So, so the whole pursuit of happiness is a movie. That ain't reality. How he chooses to pursue her in any kind of day and serve her, he's got to become a master at the art of what is my role today? What is my role in this moment? Like, how can I serve her right now? But his desire and his attempt and his pursuit to serve is way better and more fulfilling than the pursuit of happy.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you said that because that brings up a good point. I would almost say for the ladies out there, if your man's total focus trying to make you happy, he doesn't really love you and he's not really your man. Mm-hmm. Because a real man, a man who really loves you, doesn't care about whether you're happy or not. He's doing what's best for you. He's doing what's best for you in the moment. He's doing what's going to be best for you in the long run. He's using his cognitive thinking abilities. Since you're feeling and your feelings are all over the place, he's using his foundation as a man to say, that's not going to be good for you in the long run. So let me say no to you now because I know this is going to be better in the long run. Let me do this for you now, even though you don't want me to, or you think you're unhappy that I'm doing it. Because I know later on you're gonna be happy that I'm doing it. And for a lot of us, we just have to get to the point as men, trying to make her happy is a losing battle. I mean, you see how just ladies are wired a lot of times, and you ladies know this too. I've heard you talk about it. If a lady's got curly hair, she wants straight hair. If she got big boobs, she wants small boobs. If she's short, she wants to be tall. If she's big, she wants to be little. I mean, can't do nothing with what they got, and they can't be happy with what they have. So how you can make them happy? Your job is provide, protect, preside over what the future holds and how you can make her life the best possible it can be.
Sometimes his love is demonstrated by telling her no.
No.
Sometimes his love is demonstrated by steering her away from what she wants. Sometimes he loves her when he asks, do you really need another pair of shoes right now?
Really?
Sometimes he loves you when he's saying, babe, you don't need any needles in your face. You look beautiful just the way you are. Sometimes, he loves you when he says, how many Temu or Amazon packages do we need in a week? Oops, that one might be too close to home.
Yeah, well, that's personal.
Yeah.
No, he loves you when he says, baby, maybe you shouldn't wear that in downtown Chicago.
Yeah,
maybe you need to wear a jacket.
Been there. Do we need to bring that purse when we're in a strange city and we don't know our way around? Do we really need to? So sometimes his love for you is demonstrated in his ability to push back against that thing that makes you feel happy or feel pleased or feel whatever. Maybe sometimes his love is in the barriers, in the boundaries, in the foundation, in the structure that he provides to your life. Maybe that's how he shows up in his love for you.
Yeah, I think one of the things we've lost sight of, and I think because we've lost the family community, the family compound, living with the relatives and learning from the elders, is that you don't see a lot of times how the other sex, the masculine and the feminine saves each other from themselves. We can see it sometimes it's played out in movies and stuff, how ladies save men from themselves from being stupid and doing the whole hold my beer, watch this sort of thing. But ladies, the men also save you a lot of heartache and headaches from stopping you from doing things that seem to be a good idea in the short term. I know during my nice guy phase, one of my girlfriends, we were in Mexico and she wore booty shorts and wedges in the jungle. Now, had I
Mm.
really been in my masculine and been where I am now, I would have been like, yeah, we're going to the jungle, honey. We're not going down to the square. We're not going shopping. You might want to put on some regular shoes and some long pants because it's a jungle. There's spiders and snakes and all kind of stuff out there. But I didn't do it. I was in my nice guy phase. I was like, oh, honey, you look hot. Even though in the back of my head, I was like, what is this woman wearing? It's crazy. And
Yeah.
so as we come back to this next break, we're going to talk more about how a man really loves you, not how you think he should love you.
Mm.
We'll be right back. We are the Mad Men of Masculinity. This is KLDC.
I'm digging it, dude. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. If you're still watching this, I mean, so yeah, if you're watching, you have no idea what we keep doing. We keep taking breaks. This is our. Well, I don't know if we're videoing the recording or recording the videoing
Yes.
for a radio show here, but yeah, one or the other. We're doing one of those two things or both of those
So do
things
both of them. What is it? What is
simultaneously.
it? Does you do?
We're
Should we do
doing
both of them?
we're doing both of those simultaneously. But man, especially if you're listening at this point, I mean, if you're still listening at this far in, then there's something that we said
You
that
crew.
piques your
Yeah.
interest. I mean, hit subscribe, hit comment. What do you think? What do you think that that a man does when he loves a woman? Who sings the song "When a Man Loves a Woman"?
Marvin
I
Gaye?
can't think of the guy's name. No, it ain't Marvin Gaye. Oh man, what's the guy's name, man? If I wasn't using my phone for this, I would look it up. Um,
All right, fine. I'll look
but
it up. No, that's Michael Bolton. That's not it. That's the remake. Percy Sledge. It's Percy Sledge, man.
yep, I just asked my Alexa in the room, and sure enough, she just said Percy Sledge.
Okay. Yeah, first one
Somebody
came
out
with
there
Michael
knew that.
Bolton. Yeah, the first one came with Michael Bolton. They're like, man, that was a remake. He didn't make a
Man, yeah, he didn't sing nothing original.
no.
No
Well,
way,
I mean,
man.
he can sing, but I ain't saying nothing about
Best
Michael.
thing Michael Bolton did was team up with Kenny G on a couple songs.
Yeah.
Just
He's still
kidding.
playing
Man,
the
stop
elevators
that.
all over the world.
Stop dogging Michael Bolton, man. He's a musical genius.
He's a musical genius.
Like sexual chocolate. He's sexual
All
vanilla.
right. Sexual vanilla. Something with that hair. Or I guess he doesn't have that much hair anymore. But age. All right, you ready? Fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're back. Your boys are back. Mad Men of Masculinity, KLDC, fourth quarter time. We just had a little. If you listen to us on the radio here, you should really go back and listen to the stuff we talk about in between. We had a whole debate on who sings "When a Man Loves a Woman" that we both had to look it up. We had a whole. I don't know. Is Michael Bolton a musical genius? So you said he doesn't have hair now?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have as much hair as he used to. Like his crew cut now, or it's really short. He
I
used
didn't
to have
know
all
that.
that hair. He used to have all that
Yeah.
hair. I think he's got a soul trim on the back now.
Man, me and him both, man. We used to have a whole lot of hair. We don't have no more. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's hard being a player these days, man.
You used to be rocking down on the beach like Fabio. Now,
that's why you got to get married at some point, man, because you're gonna lose all your player hair. You're gonna lose all your sexy curly locks.
For yourself, man. You speak for yourself. I'll keep my hair. You might
That's
be going
true,
gray,
man.
but I'm keeping that hair.
Yeah, you keep your hair, man. Yeah, your
like
face is.
Hat. I don't want it to run away. Hey, easy on the face. Easy on the face. I can't do nothing about the face.
Yeah, I
About
can
the
dig it.
weight, I can dye the hair, but I can't do it about the face.
I can dig it. I can dig it, man. You about to turn 50 in a couple months.
Calm down. Don't be talking about
Ooh,
my
we. I'm telling all that business, man. We talking about how to know when a man loves a woman.
How do
When a
you know?
man, I don't even know what the lyrics are. Can you look at the lyric? When a man loves a woman, Percy Slade. He even told us when a man loves a woman, he does something. I don't know, but it definitely doesn't have to do with with the way he makes you feel all the time.
No.
I think in the long run, you should feel safer if a man loves you. In the long run, you should feel guided. In the long run, you should feel hopefully led. Hopefully, just protected in some kind of way, but safe. I think safe is a good word. If a man loves you, he'll make you feel safe. I think that's a pretty safe answer in itself. If a man loves you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go ahead and quote Mr. Percy Sledge. We'll talk about his songs and his lyrics because he says he can't keep his mind on nothing else, and that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Trade, trade the
It's
world for
always in the background. There's nothing else. What do you
yeah.
say?
He'll trade the world for you
Hmm.
for the good he's found. And if she's bad, he can't see it. Now that's one thing that the girl said that I do resonate with is that when a man truly loves you, no matter what anybody says, his mama can hate you, his daddy can hate you, grandma will be talking bad about you. He's not gonna take it. He's not gonna put up with it and be like, "That's my woman. I love her. Keep her name out your mouth." And
Yeah.
it's true. I mean, when man, and that's because he's committed. He's like, "Look, I don't want anybody talking bad about my woman because I'm putting my life on line for her. I'm doing everything for her. I want to make sure she's taken care of." And so don't be bad mouthing my lady. I mean, you may mean well, of course it happens in relationships. I know I've had it in my past ones where after the fact you're like, yeah, you might have been right. But if it's good, don't be talking bad about my lady.
Those are facts, man. It's kind of like our country. Sometimes America can be pretty dysfunctional, but you let something happen to us. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
man, it's like don't talk about it. Don't talk about my country, man. I lay it down for that flag. From colors, man. Them colors don't bleed, and so kind of the same way, man. If we're in that good relationship, yeah, it's like and it's definitely a theme that we have around my house. I tell my wife, she's a pain in the, but she's my pain in the
Mm-hmm.
she's mine.
That's a good point that you bring up because you want to know how your man will love you. I mean, look at how he is with his sports team. Look at how he is with his country. I mean, look at how it is with the things he loves. Like how committed is he to those things? I mean, so many men they love their sports team, and they're not bandwagon jumpers. They stay with them whether they're winning or losing. I mean, you look at a lot of people in the Midwest. They stick with them, and of course, a lot of people in the Midwest they stay together. And I think that's one of the issues, one of the biggest issues we have is the whole when it comes down to divorces and things, it has become too easy to jump ship. It has become too easy to leave. Like as soon as it gets hard, that's when you need to like dig your heels in and buckle down and get ready to make, because once you make it through that, then your love is stronger, your bond is stronger. Then you really know how you love each other because you made it through that fight or that struggle or that strife. But so many people are like, oh, I don't feel a certain kind of way and it's getting hard, I'm out.
If a man loves you, he will build you. He will build and multiply the things that he loves. He'll add to the things that he loves. He will not consume you more than he multiplies you. He won't divide you more than he multiplies you. He won't subtract from you more than he adds to you. And that's just we invest in the things that we love. We spend time with the things that we love. That doesn't mean we don't spend time doing anything else, but if he loves golf, he spends time golfing. If he
Mm-hmm.
loves building stuff, he'll spend time out in the garage or in the basement or in the shop building stuff, et cetera, working on cars, you name it. The things that he loves, he spends time investing in and putting his hands involved in those things. And so that's an indication of his love.
And one thing to keep in mind, ladies, is that we process things differently. We as men process things differently than you as ladies do. So when a man gets silent, he's actually loving you. Because most of us have learned, especially as we get on in years, that we should not say the first thing we think, nor the second thing. We need time to process what's going on and come back with a useful and productive answer. So even though you ladies process by talking and you think, well, he's not talking to me, he's shutting down, he doesn't love me. No, actually, that's a form of love because he wants to go process and not react, and not come at you angry or come at you with something that's not going to be helpful. Because so many times if we as men said the first thing that came to our minds when you said something to us, that would not be a long-term relationship. So we actually will process and think about it and look at the world as, look at all the bigger things. Like, is this argument worth it? I love her. The family's more important. Our relationship's more important. So I'm not going to be petty and say these little petty things. So I'm going to stop and pause, maybe go out the garage and tinker a little bit and process. So sometimes, ladies, when your man gets quiet and walks away, he's actually doing you a favor and loving you because he's not reacting to whatever craziness you just brought to him.
As much as I want to disagree with you right there, I gotta kind of agree.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of times, man, where I don't say something in a moment because I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't
Oh,
want to say what my God mind wants to say because what my God mind wants to say is something
it
that
will help.
is not
It will help.
necessarily. It could be confrontational at that moment. It could be something that I know would hurt your feelings, and maybe just maybe. Sometimes I'm quiet because I'm thinking about something that ain't got nothing to do with you. Sometimes I'm quiet because I'm not thinking about nothing, which we have the ability to do. Sometimes I'm quiet because, yeah, I don't want to tell you. I don't want to give you this raw meat. I want to cook it before I give it to you because if I give
Mhm.
you the raw meat, it might have some things in the raw meat that could kill you or could hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, what was that one? Those little memes coming out now talking about, well, do you want the husband answer, the boyfriend answer, or the truth? And there's
Mhm.
three different answers that you could get because the husband answer would be like, "Whatever, honey," and then the boyfriend answer is like, "No, you're absolutely right," and then the truth is, "I don't really care." Whatever that craziness is, I don't really care. But that's one of those things when we don't communicate and when you ladies listen to other ladies that are gaslighting you about what a man should do and how a man should love a woman, making you feel some kind of way. Honestly, a man's true purpose has nothing to do with your feelings. His true purpose is about your provision, your protection, and making sure that you are, he's saving you from you while you're saving him from him in those ways, like I talked about in last segment. And so if you're thinking that a man needs to be all, sunshine and butterflies and rainbows and speaking out his feelings like a woman, then that's a girlfriend. That's not the man. That's your girlfriend. So make sure you put in the right category what a man is and how a man loves.
Now, she should not be. I'm assuming if she's concerned about uh, indicators of a man loving her, then this is a man that's significant in her life.
Mhm.
And so if you rewind the clock, she needs to make sure that she doesn't get to the point of caring enough about a man, in terms of how he would treat her, how he expresses his love, if he's not a good man for her in the first place. You got a lot of men that aren't good men for you, and then you're going to put stock in how they make you feel.
Mm.
Well, if you planting in poisonous soil, then you can't expect wholesome crops to come out of that thing. And so you really got to be careful. Or if if you're good ground, you can't be letting people plant weed seeds in your good soil. And so she needs to make sure that she's not opening herself up relationship wise to a man that is not healthy, and is not worth him being the source of her feeling loved or not.
That's actually a good point. I mean, we just talked about ladies don't judge a man by how he makes you feel because his job's not about your feelings. Well, when it comes down to relationships, you got to get off of the Disneyfication and all this soap opera stuff. Like, ladies, if you need certain kind of feelings and drama to be happy, then you might as well just stay single because most like true relationships are kind of boring because they're stable.
Yeah,
A good
yeah.
man is stable, and a lot of you ladies need to get out your friends list and get back into that. I'll put him in the friend zone and to find a good man. Because yeah, maybe he's not exciting, maybe he's not James Dean or one of these rebels as the blowing your socks off, but he's stable, he's nice, he's taking care of you, and he's doing his job. And guys, stop looking at the booty and talk to her. Make sure she's good soil to plant your seed in. Make sure she's good soil to make a life with, because it's hard enough these days when without picking the crazy one. So make sure you do your due diligence, men, to find a good woman to plant your seed in to create a good healthy crop.
Dude, I gotta give it to you right on that one, dude. I mean, true love, real love, healthy love is boring sometimes, man, because it's stable. You can get with somebody that's cray cray. Most
It's
guys have
so
been with the
exciting.
cray cray ones because the cray cray ones will put it on you, and it's not a fun ride. It's a trip to the cuckoo factory real quick, and a whole lot of women will get with toxic men. Every toxic relationship you've ever been in is one you chose to be in, because
Mm.
at some point, you chose to be with that person. So, what is it about you that gravitates towards dysfunction? You're looking for the fun, but you forget the this and the unction on the back of it.
You don't need no unction. Unless you know
Ooh,
this. No, you want to have the fun.
Well, and that's the
right.
thing. We have misinterpreted where a relationship should be, and we made it too easy to get out. And so we need to get back to the good old days of burning the ships. Like, if we're doing this, we're doing this forever, and you're going to stick through it, and you're going to learn how to communicate and talk to each other, and share your love languages, share your attachment styles, share your personality, share all those things so that person knows you well enough. So many times you go through this whole process of trying to get to know somebody, but you're only judging them and trying to dissect them and understand them through your own
Mhm.
filters. Just like Kirk was saying, sometimes you got to use different words because men and women operate differently. Men are logical
Yeah.
thinkers, women are feeling based. So when we don't take that into account, we miss a whole lot of the love and the caretaking and all the things that we do in service to the other person because we're judging from our own side. So learn to communicate, take your time, and make sure you're reciprocating what you want to get. And that's the law of the universe. You get back what you put out. So if you want love, put out love. You want service, put out service. You want cray cray? Well, look in the mirror. There it is.
Yeah. And above all, ladies, stop looking at other ladies to tell you how men are and what men should be and indicators of all that kind of. Stop that. Stop. Go to
Stop.
the source. There's enough healthy men out here to go ask a guy, how do I know if a man truly loves me or not? And
He'll tell you.
what does that, what are the indicators of that? Go find a guy, go ask him. But if there's a woman somewhere or whatever, I mean, telling you everything you need to know about men, then you halfway there as far as wrong source. Go find good men and ask good men about good men, because good men know good men. Every good man knows other good men. Period.
That's right. And until next time, we are your good men right here at the Mad Men of Masculinity. And we are out.